Welcome back to Book Break. Let's talk about books about secret identities. This is such a fun trope that comes up across so many different genres. Characters who are hiding their identities, maybe even characters who don't know their identities. It's a mystery for us all to figure out, and it works in so many different contexts. So I'm going to go through looking at a few of the different genres where we might find secret identities in fiction. So for the first genre, let's look at adventure novels and kick off with a classic, The Scarlet Pimpernel by Baroness Orczy. So this one is set during the Reign of Terror following the French Revolution, and our protagonist is living a double life. He is secretly a master of disguise and an escape artist, but from the outside, everyone thinks he's kind of useless, when actually he's rescuing people sentenced to death by guillotine. More recently, there's She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan, which is a gender-swapped reimagining of the true story of the rise of the founding emperor of the Ming dynasty. So in this version, the main character disguises themselves using their brother's identity in order to rise to power. A genre where you will unsurprisingly find tons of secret identities is in thrillers, crime books, and mystery books. I am currently, as we speak, reading a book called The Interview by C.M. Ewan, so I don't know yet what the spoilers are going to be, but at this stage I can already tell you, people are hiding who they are. Essentially where I've got to so far is a woman is called for an interview after 5 p.m. in this brand new office building. She finds herself alone after hours in an office with a man who is asking increasingly disturbing interview questions. And she realizes there is no way out. Another thriller is The Imposter by Anna Wharton, which is about a young woman called Chloe who becomes obsessed with this old newspaper story about a girl who went missing and whose family never gave up hope of finding her. In the present day, she now sees that those parents are advertising for a lodger, and so she applies to go and stay with them. And once again, nobody in this book is quite who they seem. In When I Was 10 by Fiona Cummins, our main character has to keep her identity hidden. She is living quietly under an assumed name after spending 8 years in a secure children's unit following the double murder of her parents. All these years later, a documentary crew have tracked down her older sister to find out the truth of what really happened that night. More on the crime side of things, you could read The Herons Cry by Anne Cleeves. So this is the second book in the Two Rivers series starring Detective Matthew Venn. You may have seen this, it's now a major ITV series. This book is a murder mystery set in North Devon, and at the heart of this community there is a secret. Someone is pretending to be something they are not. And then for a supernatural mystery, there's The Seven Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. In this book, everyone's identity is hidden, even the main character's, even he doesn't know who he is. It's a very unusual premise. Our main character wakes up every morning in a new body and relives the same day over and over again from the perspective of different characters at this house trying to solve a murder. Secret identities can also be used really well to create drama. So in the book The Midwife by Tricia Craswell, we meet a woman who is found near death alone on the Northumberland moors with no memory of who she is, where she's come from, or why she knows so much about how to help a woman in labour, or why she can speak fluent French. In London, we meet Dr. Borthwick, who treats women and babies at all levels of society, but he is hiding a secret of his own. There's also The Other Black Girl by Zakiya Delilah Harris, and honestly this book has so many twists and turns, I don't know what I could possibly tell you that wouldn't be a spoiler, so I would just say that the book is about two young black women trying to forge their career in the sinister world of book publishing, encountering racism at almost every hurdle. But the book then takes a very unexpected turn, leaving you with no idea who to trust. Secret identity romance, it turns out, is a huge subgenre. I'm just going to give you one example here, but I went through pages and pages of recommendations. I did fall down a bit of a rabbit hole. It turns out people love secret identity romances. Hannah Khan Carries On by Uzma Jalaluddin is very You've Got Mail-esque. So it's about Hannah Khan, whose family run a restaurant which is kind of on its last legs, especially now a flashy competitor wants to open up nearby. So things aren't going well there, but meanwhile Hannah starts to develop a closer and closer relationship with one of the listeners to her anonymously run podcast. Then I wanted to throw one in here that is cross-genre. This is romance meets mystery, which is a genre that Rosie Walsh, this is kind of her speciality. So her upcoming book coming out in June is The Love of My Life, which is about a woman who has been lying to her husband and daughter about everything. She loves her husband and daughter to bits, but nothing that she's told them about herself has been real, not even her name. So when the truth comes out, she now somehow has to convince her husband that she is really the woman he has always thought she was. And I thought I'd start and finish with a classic. A genre that Secret Identities can work really well for is comedy, and a great example is The Importance of Being Earnest by Oscar Wilde. This is a farcical comedy play about two men posing as a fictional suitor called Ernest, two women, each in love with a different Ernest, neither of whom exist, and one weekend in a country home where the various Ernests are going to collide. If you enjoy books like these, I'm going to link here to a video we made on books with amazing twists that change everything. So do click through and have a browse. And of course, recommend your own favourite Secret Identity books in the comments below. And I'll see you next time.